today's episode is going to be a little bit different from last time. It won't be a recap, that's coming, that'll be the next episode. This is going to be more of a process knit because I really want to cast on a new sweater, and I thought, why not bring you along and let's see how much knitting I can get done in a day. So this year I'm kind of trying to follow those creative glimmers and let myself knit what I'm really excited about. Let myself work on what I'm really excited about and not constrict myself to necessarily like finishing all of those whips before I start something new. And that's just because I've been feeling this kind of influx of creativity and like a renewed desire to knit, which there was a couple of years ago where I barely knit anything. So now that I'm back with my knitting mojo, I really just want to nurture that and let myself knit what makes me happy. And I had an idea for a sweater, can't get it out of my head, so let's make it a reality. I was envisioning for spring a cream boucle v-neck sweater, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I ordered some beautiful boucle. This is Drops alpaca boucle. I had to order it in from Victoria because my local yarn shop was sold out of their cream boucle. So I got this one. I ordered this from Beehive Wool Shop. They're awesome. If you're in the area, you should definitely check them out, or even not, because they will ship, which is how I got these. So they are super soft. I'm super excited to cast on. I thought, let's bring you guys along with me and see how much knitting I can get done in a day. I won't be solely knitting today, I'll be doing some other stuff, but I will try to record most of the time that I have to knit. So yeah, let's get started. I'm super excited.
So as I mentioned, I am using Drops alpaca boucle, which comes in, or it's listed as a DK weight yarn, and I'm casting on with 4mm needles for the smallest size of the Vero sweater. The Vero sweater is one that I have knit before. I've knit it twice. I knit one for myself and I knit one for my mom, and I just love how this sweater fits. Like, for me, it's the perfect boxiness. It's easy to modify to whatever your preferred fit is. Like, I usually crop mine, and I just love that the v-neck isn't too deep and it's not too shallow. So I thought this would be the perfect pattern to make my boucle cream v-neck sweater a reality. And so far, I am really enjoying it. I will say, though, that getting used to the boucle yarn has been a learning curve. I was really surprised by how much I struggled to get used to the texture of this. Even with my Chiaogu metal needles, I felt like I was getting stuck in some of the boucle loops. And it took some getting used to. I definitely knit a lot slower than I normally do, which is saying something because I am normally quite a slow knitter. And then I don't know if anybody else has this issue. Maybe I'm twisting my needles while I knit or something, but I find every now and then when I'm using my interchangeable needles, they come unscrewed partway through the project, like they have here. Luckily, I normally catch it pretty quickly and I can re-screw them and tighten them up before I lose any stitches, but does anybody else have this issue, or is that a me thing? Like, even when I use the little pin to get them nice and tight, sometimes they come loose, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So for this, what I knit in a day, during the times that I was knitting, I was catching up on some other knitting vlogs. I'm really getting back into knitting vlogs. A few years ago, I was like religiously watching them, but I kind of dropped off for a couple years, and now I am back. I'm obsessed. I love spending time with knitters all over the world and seeing what everybody is doing. It's so inspiring to see people's projects or yarn choices or color choices. I just love it. So if you have any recommendations for knitting podcasts or vlogs that you love, please put them in the comments. I'm always looking for more people to follow. So I mentioned earlier that I am encouraging myself to knit patterns that I already own, projects that are already in my Ravelry library, mainly to just cut down on cost. You know, it all just adds up. So I am trying to not spend as much money on patterns unnecessarily, but I'm not restricting myself to that this year. It's just sort of trying to be more aware of the patterns that I already own, and also encourage myself to make modifications and play around with patterns and really explore my own skill set in that way. Similarly, I am trying to knit more from my stash this year. And you might be going, you literally said at the beginning of this video that you ordered yarn specifically for this project. And you know what? You're right, I did. But while I am trying to knit from my stash, I am not stopping myself from buying yarn. I'm just trying to be more selective with what I purchase and not making as many impulse purchases, which is really hard because I follow so many amazing dyers on Instagram, and every time they release a new collection, I am head over heels in love with their work. And it's really hard. It's really hard not to immediately purchase every beautiful yarn that comes across my feed. It brings me so much joy to see this creativity and the beautiful art that people make on yarn. It's incredible. I don't know how they do it. So while I am trying to work mainly from my stash, I'm also not holding back from adding to my stash. And if I do have a particular project in mind, like with this boucle of Vero that I'm working on, I won't hold myself back from making that a reality, even if I have to buy more yarn for it. I'm kind of in this contradictory era for 2024 of like letting myself have the opportunity to follow the glimmers, as I call them, like the interest, the excitement, the love, the new shiny things. So letting myself do that, but also remaining aware of my consumption and trying not to overwhelm myself with too many options, I guess. And just kind of create a balance between those two, but also not restrict myself either way. And really just let the creativity flow where it wants to go. I really think there's value in finding that balance, at least for myself. So, yeah.
Hi! So by the time I finished knitting for the day, I realized too late that I had forgotten to record an outro for the video, so that's what I'm doing now a couple of days later. Sorry for the inconsistency there, but I did just want to wrap this up. So in my day of knitting, I basically got the whole yoke of this sweater done. So this is a V-neck construction, which means you work flat for the first little bit to do that neck shaping and get that V, and then you join in the round. So I basically completed the yoke, and all that's left to do is join in the round do a little bit more raglan shaping, and then I can split for sleeves. And I think this was a really fun experiment, and honestly, to get like the whole yoke of a sweater done during the day when I started knitting a little late, like I started around 10:30 in the morning, and I was doing other stuff throughout the day as well. So I think for one day of like fairly solid knitting, this was a really good outcome. I'm loving how it's knitting up. I can't wait to keep working on it. So if you'd like to see more updates on this sweater kind of more in real time, give me a follow over on Instagram. I'll have it linked below. And if you'd like to join me for the February recap, hit subscribe here on YouTube. It really does help a lot. So thanks for coming along with this knitting experiment, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.